Brookes University B against Leander Club. And you can hear the sounds of the start. Always try and get a walk down the towpath to watch the start if you can, if you're coming to Henley, because it's great tension, great anxiety, great anticipation off Temple Island and down in front of the enclosures, and Leander have set a really good rhythm here.
Beautiful rhythm off the start, like a steam train. I really like what this Leander boat are doing, still keeping that pace really high, chunky rhythm. You'll notice that in the middle of the boat there's two bow-siders with the oar on the same side, so you can just see that in the middle of those cerise, or the pink cerise oars, just two right next to each other. They'll have a specific tactical reason for that, but it's working well for them at the moment, keeping that boat speed really high and getting off the start into this strong headwind.
I'm sorry to throw you a curveball, but I am going to probe there. What might the specific tactical reason be?
Yeah, so there's lots of different reasons for this. When I was rowing, one of the reasons we had two oars on the same side was just because we could generate really good rhythm in those two particular individuals. Also, it was to do with steering, so keeping that boat nice and straight. Some of the earlier points that we've discussed, Tim, about the importance of having A to B as fast as you can as a straight line. So they'll have their own specific reasons. Those were mine, and it's interesting to learn when we can catch up with the crews later.
And presumably that takes hours and hours of tinkering in training to, first of all, discover what you need to do and then make that work.
Yeah, so there's a lot of analytics nowadays on the boats, and if we get a shot in a minute of the Oxford Brookes B crew on the far side, I've noticed a lot of the Brookes crews have these little sensors on the oar gauges and on the gates, just talking about the pressure and the power that goes into it. So they'll have analysed that power imbalance, or the balance of the power in the crew, and want to make sure that they can get the right combination to maximise that boat speed of all 8 men on the oars.
Temple Island fading into the distance as Oxford Brookes University B to the right-hand side on the Berkshire station try and keep up with Leander Club, who look very fiery at the start and have taken an early lead here.
A lot of pedigree in this Leander Ladies Challenge Play 8. George Rossiter, one of the former internationals as well. Many Henley wins.
Just the 10 previous Henley Royal Regattas.
And James Robson in the 6th seat has been here 9 times. Yeah. Lots of experience, lots of understanding, not just about the actual rowing itself and having that good technique and building a boat throughout a year or an annual campaign, but also the specifics. We talked a little bit earlier about the 2,112-metre course, quite a unique course. And so being able to pace yourself as an athlete rather than the 500, 1,000 metres and 1,500 that we see in multi-lane racing, talking about the barrier, Forley going into the stewards enclosure. Very unique to this race course. Lovely way to think about how you can pace yourself as an athlete.
And coping with the distractions as well, because it's a unique atmosphere as well, and you could, if you were a rookie to this event, quite easily have your head turned, I suggest.
And one of my friends, Greg Searle, who does the commentating here and also steward, talks sometimes about no man's land in the middle of the race, and so that can be really quiet through around Forley time. You've got the buzz of the start, and you come through the barrier, and almost there's very quiet. There's nothing there except the two crews.
Which could take you by surprise, because you're fully geared up for raucous excitement all the way down the track, and suddenly you have a 3 or 4 minutes of relative peace in your own thoughts. So yes, I suppose that's the experience, that's the benefit of having raced Henley so much before. But there you are, you can see into the Leander boat, Tom Ballinger in the bow seat, through to Peter Lancashire in the stroke seat, and Jack Totham the Cox. A great shot that, isn't it, of high quality 8th rowing.
So simple, so smooth, so powerful.
This is the Oxford Brookes University B boat that you can see in the picture now.
And 9 of those 94 athletes here at Henley Royal Regatta. Looks as though there's a lot of pain going on in that boat, really committed to try and maximising that boat speed, doing a good job of trying to show their best race possible to get onto terms with Leander Club.
Good range of subjects being studied. Oxford Brookes in that boat. You've got a couple of sports scientists, economics, finance, marketing. Cover off a lot of areas.
Absolutely. One of the things I just want to point out for those of you watching and listening at home is just the slight difference that you can see in both the Leander and the Oxford Brookes boat. To me, these oars are just going in so directly and cleanly. So you can see those pink cerise oars. There's no hesitation, just going straight into the water, straight into the water. And that gets pulled out in the headwind, so the wind that's blowing against the boat. If we just go to that Oxford Brookes boat again shortly, you'll just see there's a sense of hesitation. It's a beautiful shot. Oars going straight in the water. Click.
Yeah,
Catch.
high quality.
Really crisp, really clean. And what that means is that the boat can stay out of the water and the pace is still very high.
The Ladies Challenge Plate is what we're watching. This is the Leander Club boat on the Buck Station, and on the Bark Station, Oxford Brookes University. There's the bowman Frederick Tyler. He's one of those sports scientists I mentioned. Matthew Montfort-Michio, Archie Barker, Richard Hawes, Connor McGunnan, George Bell, Audran Donahue, Blaise Ivers Drew, and the Cox is Joseph McNulty.
Listen to that sound.
A couple of the boat crew on Oxford Brookes University had a win last year in the Temple. It looks like they'll be bowing out at this stage in the ladies as they head for the line. They're just keeping a close eye on that Brookes boat as we head in front of stewards. They've put in a bit of a burst to make it a race at the end, but Leander had it all under control right off Temple Island, and they'll be going through to the weekend.